you have a defensive coordinator yet?
No. Bowl game?
No.
No? Are you guys? How are you gonna?
I'm gonna name anybody to be coordinator.
No, for the bowl
just
game. Okay, so you're gonna enter without it. Who would be playing call?
Who's gonna call the plays?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Deshae's gonna call the plays.
Okay.
So,
How's it? If you're kind of running in practice, how's that worked so far?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, we had everybody on the same page. You know, I mean, we got a really good coaching staff. John's done a good job with the linebackers. So he just, he's been working with the linebackers all year. So he just took over that position group. Besides that, the rest of the practice runs on the field as exactly as it's been running all before. And the meetings, just scripting assignments is the only thing that's changed. The stuff that Jeff used to script, I think, either I'll script or Deshae will just script that part of practice to write up what we're going to do, but that's about all that's different.
What do you think the biggest adjustment is for him?
For Deshae?
Yeah.
Just calling the plays. To me, it's, I've called plays for an awful long time. You just got to get yourself in a flow. He and I will meet that way. Talk about it to get himself in the flow of calling plays. And, in the course of the game, there's a rhythm you get yourself into. And you just got to learn to get yourself in that rhythm.
With no game before that, how do you get yourself in that flow? Is that kind of practice? Or?
Yeah, you just, you learn it. We know what the plan is, fortunately. We have a little extra time, so guys are really on top of the plan. They know the plan, know what we want to do in what situations. And then what he's got to do is just get that feel of getting it out of his mouth, getting into the defense on the field, and getting them called and lined up and ready to go.
How valuable is to have someone like Bernard and Beniquez and even Matt Wells, that core linebackers that they kind of know what they're doing anyways without it?
Yeah, we have such great leadership. I don't think, you don't really notice a whole lot different. Like I said, the only thing that'll be different, that's even going to be any different, is who's spitting the play out of their mouth on game day. So, with the leadership that we have out here on the field, I haven't really noticed anything that's kind of different.
Flipping the script to their linebackers, they're kind of the heart of that defense too. Two guys with more than 90 tackles. What have you seen from their guys?
Well, I think their defense is extremely underrated. It's almost unfair to say, because I think people know they have a really good defense, but when people talk about Georgia Tech, it's always the offense. And, they have a playmaking defense. I think twice this year their defense has scored multiple touchdowns in games. One of the top turnover-creating teams in the country. What they do is the defense is very, very aggressive. Make a lot of plays out there and going to put you in tough situations. And then when they do, they create the turnovers and get you behind, which is where you don't want to be against this team.
How are these first couple of practices going out in here?
Good. Yesterday, we just kind of ran around a little bit, kind of got a little bit of the Christmas rust off. And then today, just getting used to the weather a little bit. It feels like it's September, all right, or for us about. And I think our guys, but I'll promise you this, that I imagine every one of them, they'll take this over being cold any day of the week. So with the beautiful weather, I think just getting back into the flow of things. But I thought our intensity level of practice was fantastic today.
Have you talked to Dak or Bernard about their futures yet?
Yeah. We did a little bit. Both. I think the easiest thing was said is, hey, there's still plenty of time. Let's worry about winning this game. This is a big game, great opportunity for you, and then we'll make a decision when the game ends.
Do you have a feel for either of them? I know there's been a lot of rumors for Bernard.
I have a good feel for what's going to happen. We'll talk about it after.
Do you want to share with us?
After the game.
Okay.
Well, I know you spent some time in the office earlier this week. Was that to talk to some of the guys that maybe candidates for the defensive coordinator job?
No, I was getting caught up on the offense. So, I didn't really get a break. We give everybody about 4 or 5 days off. But I really spent the first whole game plan week, the whole week with the defense that entire time. So I was way behind on the offensive side of the ball. So I just really took that whole break that we gave the coaches off. And, I kind of did my own game plan. I did my entire own game plan, my own scouting, all the stuff that I wanted to do to get organized. And then when we got here last night, we meshed it all together as a staff and put together, took some of the stuff that the offensive staff had put together as a game plan, some of the stuff I liked, meshed it all kind of. There's a lot, obviously, we've got a lot of guys that have been together a long time, so there's an awful lot of crossover with what we wanted to do. But a couple things here and there that, that we kind of went through and put together to get the finalized game plan done.
Do you feel, from a national perspective, from the media, that they view Mississippi State differently than they maybe did at the beginning of August?
Sure. I mean, we're playing in the Capital One Orange Bowl, so they certainly, I think, view that part of it differently. I think, like I said, I thought people thought, if we say we're a team that's going to go compete for championships, build a program that's going to compete for championships, and everybody kind of thought it gave a little snicker to that. And I think now, in the national perspective, if you say that, we're a program that not just this year, but every year we plan on competing for championships, I think everyone's looks and says, that the program's built to be able to do that. And obviously it's a challenge being in the SEC West. It's the best conference in best division in all of college football, and it's such a challenge every year, but I think people now believe we have a program that can do that.
One thing Coach Johnson was saying to us last night at the airport was when you look at your team, your front seven is just as good as anyone. What have you said to them about that rushing attack that Georgia Tech has?
Well, they got to be physical. I mean, they do so much with the chop blocks that we've got to be able to to try to neutralize our size up front. But we got to do a great job of being stout, being physical up front. It starts with the fullback. If you look at both their fullbacks, numbers are off. Most people would take that as a season, and they have two fullbacks with those type of numbers. And so it starts with that aspect of it that you got to do, and that's got to be the physicality of us up front.
The two games that you lost, you started slow and they came on late.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a little bit the importance of getting off to a better start in this game.
Well, one, you really want to in this game because their style of offense. Georgia Tech wants to play from ahead. They want to run the clock. They want to use the ball control. They want to force you, limit the possessions you have, so you don't have those possessions to ever come back late, and force you to press on offense and do stuff you're not really comfortable with. So, we need to start fast so that we can, hopefully get them out of their comfort zone.
Was there something that you did in those games that you saw on tape that didn't allow you to start fast, that prevented you from starting quickly?
They were pretty good football teams that we played. That was an aspect of it. I think against Alabama we started a little tight early on. And you saw that, we missed the cut with Josh running, we're starting back to the wall every time. I think we started a little tight once our guys got in the flow of the game. I think we outscored them, once after the first quarter. So I think once that happened, our guys kind of relaxed and we started playing our style game. In the last game, I don't think we played real well. We have more and missed assignments in that game than any other game this season, which, that's on us. We got to make sure we're mentally prepared, and that's always a challenge in a bowl game. I haven't played now in over a month. It's not just the physical toughness and the physical performance on the field. The mental sharpness is going to be critical.
So you have a lot of history here in this state. You only have two kids from Florida on your roster right now. Do you feel like there's something you want to do more of and come down here and recruit?
Yeah, we come down here a bunch. It's for us in recruiting. We try as much as we can to get down here and recruit this area. There's so much talent in this area. And for us, I think, a lot of it, we had a lot of success in the state of Mississippi recruiting. But I think we look, in that, and you're coming down to Florida to get some things that we might not have in Mississippi, which, elite speed and some of that is some things we really look at down here.
This was the Alabama game. But not Alabama, it was just last month. When you have that much time off, do you ever worry about maybe overthinking things, or is that always a worry as a head coach?
Well, in the bowl game, there's an awful lot of time. There's so many good plays and so little time to run them all. And so you can kind of all of a sudden look and you have you normally game plan and you have 72 play calls. And, by the time you get to bowl game, you look, you have 195 on your play. I think the last time I was here in 2008, I think the play sheet had 185 play calls on it. It's holy cow, how do you sort all that out? It's just way too much. But, one of the things we've tried to do as a staff is we keep doing it, making sure, hey, if we want to add something that's good, hey, we saw this on film, this is a great idea, let's do it, that's great. But what are we going to take out to add? Just so that we keep it all, in a tight game plan where our guys can feel confident in it.
What about maybe some quote-unquote trick plays? It looked like there were some double passes going on in practice.
Yeah, we do all, we got to have fun. You're in here. We always have all that stuff. We carry about 4 deceptives every game. We don't always get to run them, because they're more, when you have all those type of, double reverse passes and all that stuff, it's not really about the play, it's more about the timing. If you call it at the right time, it's going to work. If you call it at the wrong time, it's not. And but we always carry a bunch of that stuff throughout the year and try to have some fun.
Turnover play calling to Shea Wetfield, he was the best for that job.
We just talked with the defensive staff. I think, I think for him and, because he, with the corners on the back end and the nickel that's involved inside a little bit, I think just it was on the sideline, the easiest transition. Tony's up in the box for us. I don't want to change that and disrupt that. David with the D-line, substituting the D-line and getting all the substitutions on the field. I think it's just the easiest for us to roll into that.